Hi friends, Philip Jones Martini Booster back with some more tips for you to make your cocktail experience, your martini experience, up a level or two. So we're going to talk about some brine, not just any brine. We're going to talk about what makes a Gibson and also your dirty martini really sing. So a Gibson Martini is essentially your standard kind of martini mix, often vodka, of course could be gin, and but what makes it special is the use of pickled onions or white pearl onions, like these little bad boys here. Depending what you read, it may be named after Gibson twins from the socialites back in the 20s thereabouts, or there's an English ambassador, the American ambassador to England, who was called Mr. Gibson, who during Prohibition he couldn't drink when he was having receptions due to the laws back in the United States because they had Prohibition. So he'd walk around with a cocktail glass of sorts with water and a couple of onions in it, pickled onions, pearl onions, hence the term onion soup from Gibson Martini, to a bit of flavour and to pretend he was actually having a drink. Whatever. But once you go there, it's very hard to go back. If you like your umami, that kind of really savoury kind of flavours, it's not sweet. So the trick is when you buy them from your shop, little jars of them, and I think there's any good reason to use these, frankly, with not cooking these anymore, is you've got to switch out the brine that they live in. So this is my little stash here that lives in my fridge. So normally when they do arrive in the jar, it's a kind of a sweet mix. So you want to get rid of that. So take them out of there and give them a quick rinse, not too much. And then you're going to make a little mix. So what's in here? What's in here is, and you'll find your own ratio, but what you're really after is a little residuals. The sweetness will stay in the onions anyway, right? So what you're really after is a bit more savoury kind of flavours. So there's going to be some vermouth. Any sort of vermouth would be fine. Lots of vermouth. Some champagne vinegar. Maybe 1 part champagne vinegar to 3 parts vermouth. You can chuck in a bit of vodka in there too, quietly. And then I also put in lemon peel, coriander seed, and juniper berries. So you'll see here, all floating around here, all sorts of little, and then I put an olive in there and some fresh lemon peel as well. So you can see the coriander seeds and the juniper berries and so forth. And that'll just infuses away quite merrily. So when the time comes to make your cocktail, you can just fish out. And the rule of thumb with Gibson pearl onions is you serve them in twos. So olives are usually odd numbers, 1 or 3 or more. You can fit them in the glass, but Gibson, by virtue of this, always 2. So there's that. Very, very simple. So 1 part champagne vinegar, 3 parts dry vermouth, bit of vodka in there, and then some fresh lemon peel, which you can switch out every so often. So maybe it's an old garnish when you're done with. You can whack that in, leave it a week, take it out. Olive, coriander, and juniper seeds. Voila. Okay, and now for the olive brine. Same idea, just a different ratio. So this is my mix here. What you'll notice, if you can see, keep the camera angle right without spilling everything, is I've got several types of olives in here. They're all pitted. So there's some dark ones. No, not Kalamata, not the black ones you put on a pizza. Too oily and they will take over. You definitely don't want that. So you want green Sicilian, ideally pitted, unpitted. Again, the flavors are a bit different. But that's okay, no hard and fast rule. And in here again, you're going to use the brine that the olives come in. So again, you're not using the black ones because it comes from Dell, it's going to be too oily. But retain the brine that the olives come in because that's usually quite all right. But again, I've switched it out. So I'll put in some fresh lemon zest, and again, I'll change that every week or so. I will put in, again, an allsplash of vermouth, like a French vermouth, like a Noddy Pratt, for example. And that's essentially it. And the different olives will impart different types of flavour. And of course, you'll just have your standard one, nice green one like that. That's my go-to, but the others are there for flavour, essentially, or for sharing friends if that's where they want to go. And then when I make my dirty martini, because it's a very personal taste, everyone's going to have their own style, the way they like it, I always up vermouth. There's another video on the channel here about more about dirty martinis and vermouths in general, so look out for that. But I will just start adding about 5 bar spoons. So when I make the mix, slightly more vermouth than usual, and I will add 1, 2, 3, starting with 5 bar spoons. Give it a stir in the mix with the vermouth and the gin, or your vodka as the case may be. stir, have a little taste. Hey, you're traveling, is that the way you want to go? You can always add some more, right? In some bars, you actually, I've seen it where they come with a little, your martini comes with a little chaser with extra olives and a little bit of brine, like a little mustard pot. It's really cute in some bars I've seen. So, but yes, you just keep adding it until you get it to where you want to go, or hopefully your customer can give you some guidance. There you go. $2 of brine, very simple, but they will make your cocktail a way better place. And I just keep these in an air container in the fridge. And I'm reassuring to know they're there. All right, stay well. See you next time. Bye.